Holy macaroons, everybody. Welcome back to Bacon at last. And also welcome back to Cinderella Phenomenon. We're finally going to be getting started with Karma's route, or Klaude's route, rather. Good things come to those who wait until midnight. I am sorry it's been so long. I've been really looking forward to doing Klaude's route. We both know this. Well, we both, I say as if there's only one other person that's like enjoying this. I want to get past this part. Let me pass this part. Darn you. Okay. Yep. Alright, we're finally getting into Klaude's route. I'm very excited. We just finished with Rod's. It was very, very cute. Okay, so next is Karma. Let's see. Where's Rod? Chevalier. No, thank you. Waltz, Fritz, and haha! I should have known the red one was Klaude. It makes sense. The Chameleon Prince. Ho ho ho. If I were you, I would give up now, Princess Lucette. You ought to just surrender, darling. What kind of villain says darling? Lucette, this is where you play along. Are they role-playing? I take a deep breath and force myself to glare at him. I will never succumb to you. I parry Klaude's sword moments after he lands a blow on the edge of my blade. His momentary surprise fades into concentration as he rushes me again, sword raised high. Cute! This time I am unable to parry, and when our swords connect, it is all I can do to keep my stance. Klaude's face is inches from mine, a cocky smile lights his face, but his calm is unwavering. Use any means necessary to best me, I dare you. At this proximity, I can see the flecks of color in Klaude's eyes, the flicker of golden light on gentle green. His eyes will always remind me of the forest. I steal my eyes away from him and glimpse the rest of his body to search for an opening. How should I attack him? We get a choice this fast, huh? Alright. Gonna save him right here. Use magic, use the sword. Let's go with magic first. I do have one easy way of getting an upper hand. Maybe I will not win, but... I smile at him. Ooh, she does smile. You've forgotten one very important thing, Klaude. Oh? I'm a witch, and you are not. You wouldn't. Yes, she would! You kidding? Klaude's sword slides past mine with enough force to make my blade loose in my hand, but my grip no longer matters. My taunt has temporarily caught Klaude off guard, giving me enough time to concentrate on my magic. Ice begins to gather on my fingertips. Klaude rushes me again with his sword just as I hold up my hand to cast my spell. I aim the ice at his feet. When the whiteness clears, my ice has accumulated at the ground, turning the vibrant green blades of grass into fragments of powdered white. But Klaude is nowhere to be seen. What? I feel the cold tap of a blade against my shoulder. Sneaky, sneaky! Before I can turn it in place, I feel an arm around my waist and lips close to my neck. I can feel Klaude's breath on my skin when he laughs. Cheaters never prosper, darling. You told me to best you in whatever way that I could. Klaude responds by moving his lips down to the nape of my neck and planting a soft kiss there. I stumble away, my fingers tight on the grip of my sword. Klaude raises an eyebrow at me and grins. Perhaps if you hadn't warned me about your magic in advance, you might have won. Though, even if you had won, it wouldn't have been a very fair victory. I hold up my sword once again, but too late. Klaude is already closing on me again, his blade at my neck. He knows me too well. The moment I become flustered, I lose all my concentration. He grins at me, triumphant. Really, though? You should have admitted defeat much earlier. He moves the edge of the blade away from my neck and leans forward to brush his lips against my ear. The rest of his words come in a whisper. There is no besting me, love. I can predict your every movement. I sigh. I know when I am beaten, and to fight anymore would be futile. I pull my arm away from Klaude with a groan. I almost had you. Almost, but not quite. I groan at Klaude's response. He always manages to say such things nonchalantly without even batting an eyelash. I have just readied my retort when something breaks the silence of the forest around us. I hope we're not interrupting anything. I whirl in place to stare in the direction of the new voice. I am surprised to see Garland and Jurian standing a short distance away, beneath the copse of trees. How long have you two been standing there? Long enough to see the thrilling end to that match. You almost had him that time, Princess. That's actually kind of impressive if you think about it, because even Jurian and Garland don't tend to be able to come close to having him, so to speak. So the fact that she does, or she did rather, that's actually really impressive the more that you think about it. Like if you remember the original route and everything. Garland looks at Klaude and shakes her head. Wait, shakes her head? Garland looks at Klaude and shakes her head. Okay. A victory this close to the princess's birthday would have been a good gift. I would refuse such a victory. What is the point if I do not earn it myself? You tell him. Klaude grins. Spoken with all the pride of a knight. You see, Garland? She would never accept such a thing. I know Lucette like the back of my hand. Glitter, glitter. I would hope you know your fiancé like the back of your hand. I cannot help that my cheeks warm at Jurian's words. Even though I have been Claude's fiancé for the last few months, most people do not bring up our engagement so casually. Klaude sidles closer to me and wraps an arm around my waist. You really are so adorable when you're embarrassed. Okay, so they're already fiancés versus the last two routes where they built up to that. So I'm wondering if in Claude's they're going to build up to the wedding instead. If you even begin to tease me, my sword will find your hand. Your threats are as sweet as your compliments. Sparkle, sparkle! He smiles at me mischievously before stepping away and glancing at Jurian and Garland. I hope the two of you didn't come for a personal lesson. You know that I have an important matter to tend to, no? I stifle a sigh. I know just as well as Jurian and Garland that Klaude has something he needs to pick up in town. Most likely it is another gift for me. Klaude plans to give me a birthday gift every day of the week leading up to my birthday. He did the same thing last year and the year before that, but this year his first birthday gift was rather extravagant. I cannot believe that the bouquet of lilies he bought me yesterday had to be delivered on a cart. I wonder what kind of gift he plans on bringing by today. That's really sweet though that he likes to bring her gifts the entire week up to her birthday. I think that's really nice. Kind of romantic too, depending on the gifts as well. 6 days remain until my birthday, which means that the gifts will become more extravagant from here on out. It is usually the gifts he gives me on my birthday date that is the most heartfelt and special, but I cannot help but look forward to his smaller surprises regardless. His efforts are always showy, and that is what makes them feel like Klaude. Well, he is a showy guy. Besides, he always puts so much thought into the gifts, extravagant or not. I turn back to the conversation at hand. The two knights are still discussing some sort of training regimen. The exchange goes on for another few minutes before Klaude turns to me and smiles. By your leave, darling, I shall rush off to town and pick up your gift. I promise that you will absolutely love this one. Hopefully it doesn't need to be delivered on a cart. His face as he's saying it. Or involves some foreign choir? I almost said chore. You used a choir? Aw. Or a cake so large it takes 4 people to carry it up the stairs. Okay, that one would have won me, I'm gonna be honest. Like, the choir thing probably would have embarrassed me. The flowers I wouldn't know what to do with, but the cake! Yes. You two are just jealous you didn't get to deliver those items yourself last year. That cake was made by the best baker in the whole kingdom, and that choir. I cannot help the laughter that escapes my lips. Me either, honey. Klaude abruptly stops talking to plant a kiss on my head. He gazes at me with a fond smile before shaking his head. Enough dawdling. I have to go now if I want to make it in time for our designated meeting. I promise I won't be late, Lucette. He grasps my hand briefly before rushing off. I notice that in his hurry he has forgotten to sheath his sword. Klaude, your sword. He lets out a soundless sigh as he sheaths his sword and rushes off, leaving me alone with the two knights. Looks like someone got their head in the clouds. Doesn't he always when he's around the princess? Aww. The two glance at each other, some silent amusement flickering between them. Did you come out here just to spy on us? Of course not, your highness. We were on our way out of the palace when Princess Emmeline stopped us and asked us to deliver a message. A message? The princess requires your assistance. With what? She didn't provide any details, unfortunately. If she didn't explain what it was for, then it is highly likely that this is about that surprise celebration she wants to throw me. But is it still a surprise if I know that it's happening? Garland and Jurian glance at each other for a few moments, some hidden message conveyed in their gazes. Garland claps a hand on Jurian's shoulder with a smile. Can I not be stumbling every other word, please? I'll escort the princess back. I'll meet up with you before the hour's up. Jurian puts her hand over his, but only briefly before she nods at him. Don't be too late, otherwise I'll start eating without you. Aww. Garland slides his hand off of her shoulder as she turns to walk away from us. When she is out of sight, the two of us begin our walk back toward the palace. That's right, Fritz died in this route. I was trying to think about just now. Okay, I know there was some tragedy in every single one but Rod's. So who was it that died? It was Fritz. Fritz was the one that died. Aw, man. Garland stops when we arrive at the gates. He turns to me with a bright smile. Here we are, Princess. Oh. I just noticed, you didn't have a knight escort with you today. A few weeks ago, I was able to convince Father that we no longer need an escort in the forest. I feel it is better that way. It feels more special when it is just Klaude and I there. Besides, I am the Cinderella bearer, and Klaude is a talented swordsman. We have nothing to fear when we are together. No, the king should be able to fill you in on that situation. Garland looks at me, thoughtful. Then he nods. Princess Emmeline should be in the dining hall. Is there anything else that you require? Nothing that I can think of. You're free to go back to your date. Oh, he's all blushy! Look at him! You sweet boy! Garland flushes a crimson red that makes me laugh. Despite how discreet he and Jurian try to be, it is very easy to see that the two of them are courting each other. It has been that way for the last 2 years. Yes! I narrow my eyes at him. How goes the matter Klaude and I discussed with you? Have you spoken to Jurian yet? Not yet, not yet. Garland shakes his head, eyebrows furrowed. The timing doesn't feel right. I'll propose to her after your birthday party, or your wedding. But right now we need to focus on security for both of those celebrations. You two are hardworking to a fault, you know. It's an occupational hazard, I'm afraid. I shake my head with a sigh. That dedication is what makes Jurian and Garland two of the most competent knights we have in Angiel. After I excuse him, he bows and then turns to walk away. I am about to walk in through the front gates when he suddenly calls my name. Oh, Princess Lucette, did Prince Klaude say anything about when his brother was scheduled to arrive? Oh, right. I had nearly forgotten that Claude's brother Lance is supposed to arrive the week before our wedding. Klaude insisted that he come as late as possible. He should be here at the beginning of the next month. Garland looks at me for a few moments, a troubled expression on his face. Is something wrong, Garland? It's nothing. Garland smiles before turning and walking away. I watch his back, contemplating calling him back. Instead, I find my thoughts turning to the last time I mentioned Lance. You've been sulking all day. Is something wrong? I sit beside Klaude on the bed, my hand resting on his knee. He stares out my window, his gaze glassy. You would laugh. I would laugh at you anyways. Claude's lips quirk slightly before he angles his head toward me with a sigh. If you must know, it's my brother. Lance? Yes, Llama. I raise an eyebrow sharply. What about him? Did he write something strange in his last letter? Not so much strange as annoying. He proposed visiting Angiel 1 week before our wedding for a preliminary celebration. I failed to see the problem. The problem is that it's Llama. He attracts unwanted attention wherever he goes. You've met him before. You understand what I mean. The last time I spoke with Lance was nearly a year ago. He and his mother came to visit Klaude and Angiel and brought everyone in the palace a terrifying amount of gifts. He was a lot like you. I am offended, darling. We are nothing alike. Sparkle, sparkle. I am radiant like the sun, and Llama is a magnet. He has a way of stealing the spotlight, as always. You're worried he'll steal the spotlight from you? Klaude looks at me disgruntled. I'm right, aren't I? Not at all. I'm worried he'll steal the spotlight from you. I slide closer to him. Klaude, I will be fine. I do not crave attention like you do. Crave attention? Me? Don't deny it! Oh yeah, yes you. Do not deny it. But you... I put a finger to his lips. You already give me enough attention as it is, and that's all I really need. Klaude pulls my hand away from his mouth and gently kisses my palm. He smiles, a little sheepishly. If you insist, then I'll write back to my brother and tell him he can come early. I just hope you won't regret this decision. Lance has been very popular in Angiel ever since he first visited with his mother, but no matter his magnetism, he certainly won't distract the townspeople from a royal wedding. I am sure that Klaude must have something planned for the week before the wedding, and he just does not want Lance taking anyone's attention away from it. It will be fine. I shake my head to clear my thoughts before turning to head back into the palace. Alrighty, I'm actually gonna call it quits for now. We've been playing for about 15-ish minutes. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I am Bacon, and this so far has been Cinderella Phenomenon Evermore. We finally get into Klaude's route. I hope you've enjoyed it so far. If you like the video, feel free to like the video. If you like me, feel free to like, subscribe, comment, all that lovely stuff. And if I have a chance to play tomorrow, I will attempt to make it a little bit longer. I prefer to keep things to like 20-ish minutes versus 15, so I'll add an extra 5 minutes tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for joining me once again, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!